Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
He's a keynote speaker, author, mindset coach, founder of Body Temple Health and Wellness, success trainer. He's made fitness, health, and mindset a priority for 3 decades. Shortly after winning Oregon bodybuilding contest, he developed an autoimmune disease that originated from a serious gut complication that almost ruined his health. And I want to hear more about the problems that you've had with your compromising your gut health from personal experience. So Steve Wiltshire, welcome to the podcast.
Lisa. I wish they could have heard the conversation that we just had before the interview. Oh my
Those
gosh.
are the best ones.
Everyone. It was like I have known Lisa forever, and the leader that she is, and the trailblazer and pioneer of change. And I really want to acknowledge the work you're doing. I loved 2 of the episodes I've listened to, and that whole theme around being your own CEO, the gatekeeper of your life, right? Because reality is what we make it. Yeah.
I love that. And I want to know more about your personal health journey and how that has sort of charted the course of your life.
It's been interesting. Yeah. Everybody that's known me for 30 years prior to me getting this autoimmune condition, that's what I call it, because you can heal anything, really. That's really the truth. I was really known for being in ideal health. And before I got sick, everything that I thought I was doing was great, right? Like I learned early on to hire experts. And all these experts that I hired, especially my naturopath at that time, they led me to these radical meal plans, and they're like keto. I get it. There's all certain types of keto, but there were these radical meal plans and supplements with chemicals in them. And I couldn't sustain them as I got older. And I had no signs leading up to my illness. I remember being with my son, Quinn. We're at a vegan restaurant, and I didn't feel right. And I stood up, and my stomach was huge. And he's 12 at the time. And he looked at me and he said, "Dad, oh my gosh, what happened to your abs?" And I thought, do I need to go to urgent care? There's something wrong. And so every time I ate and drank after that, I would get bloated, and doctors were no help. My lab tests actually looked great. And then I kept thinking, what is going on with me? What is the matter with me? Well, the good news is his mom had been on this journey for 2 years of healing herself from 3rd stage breast cancer. No chemo, no radiation, no surgery. And I wasn't really paying attention. She is a partner of mine in an entrepreneur brand. And I started to notice and have conversation with her about what she was doing. And she lives the philosophy and the practices of the Hypocrites Institute in Southern Florida. And she's been an example to everybody that you can actually heal your body. She's 100% plant-based, live sprouts, no chemicals, no toxins. So I started following that path. And then she led me to, I called them these miracle healers that are disguised as naturopaths or some other doctor, right? And I had this serious case of candida that they call celiacs, and I could not get rid of it. I mean, it literally cost me $20,000 in 18 months of my energy to reverse this condition. It was crazy. But
Well, if you don't eat gluten, doesn't that help reverse celiac?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't know what I didn't know. And I think all of you that are listening, functional medicine is really what you want to pay attention to. It's kind of a new word, right? Like when you get your lab work done, especially through a naturopath, like I found it ironic that the test that the naturopath took 2 weeks after I had my blood work back showed I had celiacs, but not through my doctor. What's that about, right? You need to be diligent around getting your blood work done every 6 months, twice a year. But what's most important is be tapped in your body. And a lot of people don't listen. Your body gives you messages that are very, very, very clear. And then there's this thing called parasites that doctors don't talk about. 14% of you are walking around with parasites, and they're contracted from chemicals and supplements, processed food, water, animal protein, can even be passed through sexual contact. It's pretty interesting.
Parasites. Oh my God, the new sexually transmitted disease. I'm friends with some of my parasites. I've had them for so long. I mean, don't we all have parasites?
Right? It's like we don't ask anymore. Do you have herpes? It's like, do you have parasites?
That's the new thing. It's like,
say that.
COVID, do you have parasites? But I want to know a little bit more about your journey. So obviously you've gone to a naturopath and you're healing yourself from your own autoimmune disease. I am familiar with celiac. I have people in my family that have it, and I know that I have a gluten intolerance myself. And I've talked to people that believe, naturopaths that believe gluten is bad for all humans. What do you think about that?
I do. Yes, I do. Absolutely. You know, it's so simple when you really think about it. And this is what you're going to hear from our conversation today, that your health affects so much of your life. It is your trump card. And you've been given one body in this lifetime. I would say that, you know what I realized was 70% of what I have been taught wouldn't sustain me over these years of growing old. And what I didn't know was the relationship the gut has with depression and anxiety. Now, I've never had depression, but I've had so much anxiety, and it affects your gut. I remember researching that, learning that. And when I think of young children, you know, there's these signs that those of you that are listening that are parents, young children will say, "Mommy, my tummy hurts." And often it's the anxiety and depression that they're feeling. And that's the correlation between the gut and anxiety. Well, I wrote an ebook. In fact, all of you have access to it. We have a community online, and we have resource library. We're mainly bodytempleLLC.com. We are a philanthropic movement. So I wrote an ebook on how I diminished anxiety and depression without drugs. And going back like to when I was 27 years old. So I didn't realize that for years, I was just like camouflaging all this anxiety. I never meditated. I was always on the go. And my story is I have had friends, I was about 43, 44. And my friends were saying, "When are you going to do a show? You need to do a show. You're getting older. You got to do a show before you get older." So I finally thought, why not? Just the thought of it, with all my travel, I'm a keynote speaker and a trainer, and I was, flying all over the US and doing these events, and too many clients. But what I want you all to hear is that what happened for me through preparing for that show is I realized the only thing that I really have control over in my life is my health. That other people's moves, my team's move, my relationships, my children, other people in our life that make these decisions affect us, but not our body. So I'd never tuned into these non-negotiables as I was preparing for these two shows. Now, I didn't expect to win. It was kind of a cool thing. But what I got out of that was, wow, I'm in control of my body, my mindset, my choices. And so what happened leading up to it is I was spending about $800 a month on these supplements that were full of chemicals. And I kind of laughed about it because I remember thinking, me dumb, aren't all supplements like good for you? I just did not research. I had no idea. I felt so naive, and I didn't know that 92% of the supplements on the market had chemicals in them. I didn't know that many of them are owned by pharmaceutical drugs disguised as supplement companies. I didn't know that combining food wasn't good for you. I didn't know that these aggressive meal plans can cause kidney disease and challenges with your liver and pancreas. And who would have thought that?
Oh my gosh.
But
And
yeah,
that's what caused your autoimmune disease was actually you're saying the supplements.
supplements. In fact, good question. I created a chemical free line. Like I just gut line. Like what happened for me is I went and searched for this chemical free formulator. I wanted to know where the root was. What's the soil?
Yeah.
Where is it grown? What's the process you go through? It's such a long process compared to how many supplements are made. I wanted 100% chemical free, purified product for my gut, digestive enzymes, and a pre-probiotic. And I just think about how I just am never ever sick. I never got COVID. My decision was not to get vaccinated. That's not right for everybody. I get that.
Right.
But what I can tell you at 57 years old, people are like amazed about the energy I have. And it really, and going back to it, often all of you listening, the challenges you're going through are invitations to get to the other side. I remember this affecting my relationships, my finances, my career. I remember having this leadership retreat 12 weeks after I got ill, at the Vidara in Vegas, with leaders flying in all over the world, and thinking, God, how am I going to get through this?
Yeah.
So I'm so serious about looking at the longevity game.
So it's like your overall health is responsible for so many things. The gut, the mind and body connection is something I want to circle back to a little and dive a little deeper into the mind, body, gut, immune connection.
Yeah, and on a going back, I think so many of us don't put ourselves first. And the accountability is your choices affect your marriage, your choices affect your partnerships, your family. And it is a thing, the thing that I always point out is that environments create transformation. And what does that mean? Environments that we want to cultivate. For example, if our marriage isn't going well, we want to make it work, we're going to probably find a counselor. We're going to go to
Right.
maybe a marriage encounter weekend. Or if I want to get fit or transfer my health, I got to find an environment that's going to happen. We got to create these environments that support us, these
Absolutely.
plans. So we first make a decision, we're ready for change. Second, we create our ideal wellness plan. That's what we do at Body Temple. We have tons of coaches. Like we talk to people complimentary. All of you that are listening to this podcast, you can jump into our community. Just go to Facebook and search Body Temple Community, ask for approval. And in one post, you will have a coach that will respond and say, do you need help? And they'll jump on a call and guide you through all the many resources that we have. And we have a program that we're offering. It's in the show notes. It's called a 15-day Kickstart Detox program, but it's so much more than that. It's about the plan, and it's about the mindset. What happens after you design a plan is you are stepping into shifting these poor habits to ideal habits, but it's the triggers. Like after I got sick,
Yeah.
the thing that was challenged for me when I started to get better was I noticed I couldn't go into environments where I was with friends and there was alcohol. I mean, I didn't really drink a lot. I didn't have an alcohol problem, but it was that time that, I just wasn't drinking, and I
Right.
could not order a glass of wine. And it was like powerless state. I was like, wow, what is up? And so I trained my mind how to think. And what I wrote in my ideal wellness plan is I just don't meet people in environments that promote alcohol. I had to just shift that. So we do have these triggers, and this is what we're about, is designing these ideal environments that support transformation.
I love the fact that you touched upon alcohol, because that I think is one of the biggest struggles that I have with people, that if they want to lose weight and they want to have more energy and they want to feel better, and culturally we're all around that, let's get together for a drink, let's get together for a dinner. Do you want to just lightly touch upon what the poison that alcohol actually is?
Oh, well, it's a toxin, and that that it's similar with anything that has toxins. In fact, those of you that jump into the Kickstart detox program, it's in the show notes, you're going to notice we have 3 ebooks. One is on toxins and chemicals to avoid. Like, we have a literal ebook all on that subject.
Right.
And what I don't like is complication. I like simplicity. My life is too complicated without not having simplicity in my infrastructure. And so when you stick to produce and you stick to greens and you stick to really simple food plan and beverage plan, it isn't that complicated. That's the thing. And we even have a Body Temple shopping guide, and we have a Kickstart detox, like where we teach you exactly how to design a plan with all these vegan recipes. And it doesn't mean that eating has to be boring, but you would not believe how it will elevate your health. There's 68 barcoded food products in the US with added sweeteners. You would not believe how toxic these added sweeteners are, even worse than some alcohol. There are so many names. I can think about 80 names disguised as sugar.
Like fructose, everything.
Isn't that crazy?
Glucose and all. I mean, so sugar and alcohol are both toxins and contribute greatly to all disease. Is that not true?
Absolutely, it's true. I know that if I met you in a airport, we were having a conversation around health, and you had the board, and you asked me, what are the 3 decisions, or what are the major decisions I can make to elevate my health? I would say sweat every day. Like, you would not believe what that will do. You would not believe your skin. You would not believe the energy you have. I mean, we're all dealing with toxins, whether we eat completely clean or drink water, like high alkaline water. That's all we do. There's so many toxins in our environment. Second, just eliminate sugar or anything that shows up like sugar. What does that mean? Pasta, some forms of rice, like white rice, if you eliminate sugars, you will restore your health back to its original way of being. And then third, produce. Just go green, man. Studies show that 90% of diseases can be traced right back to the gut. And almost all of us are experiencing some kind of leaky gut syndrome. Like 90% of us have some kind of leaky gut. Many of you probably don't even know what that is. And it just means you have these little tears or holes in your gut lining that allow these particles to get into your bloodstream. So when you get sugar or you get toxins in your bloodstream, it so messes with your physiology. And I remember I'm not a scientific guy. I'm pretty bottom line about this, why I hire experts. But I remember thinking, well, what's the cause of this? Like, what could I have done differently? And then thinking about all the money that I had spent working with these natural paths that, back in the day, that really were not like seasoned at functional medicine. And my accountability every friggin' day is talking to many, many people that are sick. I just think, I don't want that. Like, we are designed and manipulated in the US, especially through media, pharmaceutical drugs, even entertainment, that I deserve that damn drink on Friday night. It's been a hard week, or I get to eat whatever I want because you know what? It's been a tough week. But we think instant gratification. We don't fast forward into our future like a Betty White. Like, how did a Betty White pass away at 99 years old? Like, I can tell you right first, since I've been studying her for years, joy, a ton of joy.
Oh, she exuded joy. I absolutely love that.
So much joy, like happiness, so much joy. And many of you that even have ideal health, if you think your health is ideal on a scale of 1 to 10, you're like at a 9. What you don't realize is that there are all these things that are getting in your way that are just in water. They're in supplements. They're in food. Fish is just, if you don't have a really great fish source, you're eating and digesting like 80 to 150 chemicals. I think of my son, he's 23 years old. He's a vegan. We grow pea sprouts and sunflower sprouts.
Right.
I drank a lot of my produce. I do intermittent fasting. And that means I teach clients. I'm like, you know what? Have your last meal at 8. and then your next meal at 1 or 12 the next day, and you're going to just drink a high-powered nutrient smoothie. We have all these recipes. They're all free. You jump into the community, you'll just be amazed at all these recipes in the file section. But even that, like, you will lose weight, your energy will elevate. The seeds that we show you how to grind and put in this smoothie are amazing. And so what happens is you just start learning a new way, because we don't know what we don't know, or we know what we don't know, but we don't know what we don't know. And that's the key here, is that finding like the template that will work for each one of you.
Well, you are such a wealth of knowledge. Is there any final wisdom bombs you want to leave our audience with on gut health and how we all are possibly struggling with leaky gut and gut health issues, and any final sage words of advice for our audience?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I would say that the number one decision that I've noticed about all these successful people that I've coached. So in this entrepreneur brand, I have some clients that have some amazing lives. I've done that for 20 years now. And in 2018, we started transitioning over to Body Temple. And like you, Lisa, you work with a lot of entrepreneurs and CEOs and very established people. And what I found that changes everything is their miracle morning meditation. Like, we have a whole process. Like, nobody gets my time in the morning but my creator. Sometimes it's not as long as I want it to be, but it's a template that I have wrote at a high level time in my life, or I'll say when I'm updating, that trains my brain how to think. Because we all have 4 commonalities: physical, relational, spiritual, and financial / careers. And if you write affirmative prayer, or better said, affirmations, I affirm them in prayer. What happens is that you elevate your mind to think a different way, and you connect with your soul, and your soul is always one step ahead of you, but you're not listening. We don't listen to that still small voice. And when we start our day becoming so cognizant of where we're headed in all those 4 areas, your yeses come quick and your nos come quick. And then over time, you start to notice that it creates form. And what does that mean? Well, it's strategy. You know, it's the same stuff that I've done with entrepreneurs, that I've done with people in Body Temple, clients, and just people that I help. I mean, we help a ton of people that we see months later, they start to restore their health back to their essence. And so you're looking at people that have what you want. Like, what does that mean? You like how they look, or you like that they have an ideal relationship? There's something that you want, that you see. You get that through aspiration or jealousy. One's healthy, one's not, same thing. But what's in the way is you have these limiting beliefs and these stories in your mind. And most often in your body, you're not even thinking them out. Some of you are just so wildly crazy busy that your body, you have these emotions you just can't even bring to your thought. And these limiting beliefs and these reoccurring thoughts are keeping you at bay from attracting what you want. Well, what do? You got to change your strategy. So what I can tell you we'll do for you, even from this philanthropic movement, just jumping into the Body Temple community on Facebook, just go into Facebook, search Body Temple community. And you notice with our lives and our tools and our coaches, we can start you there. But the thing that I always like to leave people with is a strategy. And the Kickstart Detox Plan is a strategy. If you listen to that 43-minute video, and Lynn's magic, man, her part was so magic. I'm more about mindset. I'm a mindset coach. 3 areas we'll cover: how to get you to decision mode, where you headed; second, how to create an ideal wellness plan; and then third, how to shift your poor habits to ideal habits and notice your trigger. And then in that, you'll see there's all sorts of complementary tools. Body Temple, Kickstart.com.
Steve Wiltshire, you are a wealth of information. Thank you for being a guest on Whole CEO with Lisa G. I truly believe you and I came together for a reason, to help people know that their health is their wealth. I'm very aligned with you on some of your strategies on intermittent fasting. So I hope you guys will go to Body Temple on Facebook. Is there any place else you want people to find you?
It's right in the show notes. You can go to my site, but I want to lead you just to this Kickstart Detox program, because when you learn, detoxing can be actually quite fun, and it's not what most people really think. And it's going to give you everything that you need. And I just want to say, Lisa, you got an incredible show. Like I've made a list of 17 episodes that I want to listen to, and all of you that are listening, you're in the right place. She is a change agent, a trailblazer, and we are at a time in space. Never in history have we had so much uncertainty. And what you're really wanting is to be in your power. We're either operating from a state of powerless or power.
Right.
And power is misunderstood right now because we're looking at all these politicians and all these influential people, and they're manipulating. But power means I love how I think. I love how I'm handling this. I like the choices that I'm making. When you feel powerless, it's like the example I felt when I started realizing I never really drank a lot, but I drank when I went out. I put down 2 or 3 really good drinks. And then I noticed, shit, I got it. I feel powerless. Like, what's really going on? Well, what I didn't realize until I started studying it was the serotonin and dopamine. It wasn't even about drinking. It's like, I very rarely have time with friends. When I would get out, listen to music and be around people, man, I go south on my attention. And so we got to shift our thinking. So I love helping people shift their thinking and coming up with a strategy to shift their life into that higher level of consciousness that gets them anything that they want.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being an awesome guest on gut health and body temple.
Oh, and I meant one thing I forgot. We just started this thing. The first 20 that opt in, you're going to get a 30-minute complimentary session with a body temple coach, $197 value. Oh, I remember.
I hope you guys are listening. I'm going to be number 1.
You're in. We'll do 21. You're always in, Lisa. I got you.
Thanks, Steve.